This episode is part 2 of our evening with Jason C. from the Mash and Drum. Tyler tags out Flying Buckeye, and we continue tasting bourbon and talking about life in the bourbon industry. Find out what we thought on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. But before we get started, do you want to support our podcast? Do you like bourbon gear? Visit our website at www.bourbonhunters.com to buy some of our custom bourbon gear and support the podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. So to the Bourbon Hunters, where we have Tyler tag in for the Flying Buckeye, and we continue our conversation with Jason from the Mash and Drum and Brett, and we continue to talk about how Tyler is wrong about Ted Lasso and some other items as well.
Yeah, I can't wait for Flying Buckeye here to
For his
season 2
and 3.
I do have to start.
Well, more 2 than anything.
I have to start season 3.
Wait, you haven't watched
things?
You
No,
haven't watched season 3 yet?
no.
What?
2 ruined it for me. 2 ruined it.
Hold on. You've got to take off because I don't want him to ruin anything.
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
So we'll
Okay.
give it a 10-second. Let him get his shoes on. Let him get out the door before we start letting you tell us why.
Okay, so now
season 2.
this changes my whole perspective because my reading the tea leaves
but
was based on him seeing season 3.
Right. So
Yeah.
and
Now I have to think.
Shit, you can't say.
Now I have to think back to season 2.
Okay, tell us what ruined it for you.
Here's what they and I think dude is like.
Wait, first off,
misinterpreting-
how you been, man? You all right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
let's do
nice
that.
to see ya.
busy.
Let's do that. How you doing?
We're good.
How'd you like what I poured you?
It's good.
That's really good. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
The nose has like a really fresh, like green fruit to me.
Oh, could see that.
Oh, we never did talk about the dark fruit.
Yeah, he did.
Did he say what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah,
grape soda.
I said it was like a grapey.
Oh, I wouldn't have considered that a dark fruit. I guess I guess.
I was
Never
like,
mind.
it's a dark fruit that you're not thinking about.
I was thinking stone fruit when you said that,
Yeah.
so that's why I didn't. Okay.
So really quick before we get into the Ted Lasso thing, I don't know if you guys are following the Patreon, but I do want to bring up the amazing experience we had down at Barrel King in
I was going to ask you about that.
Bourbon, Missouri.
Yeah.
Dude, it was.
Is that where Barrel King is?
Yeah,
They're in Bourbon, Missouri.
Bourbon, Missouri.
So you did some live stuff with that, right?
We've done some live streams with Jared, the founder of it.
But didn't you
here
do
and there,
something
but-
like with a tasting or something with? Was it not them that you did
Was
this?
it? Isn't there a barreling company? Like an actual stave company down there.
This is the 60% we were talking.
I don't
about
think
earlier.
so. No, not in Bourbon, Missouri. Literally has like 15,000 people, maybe.
Not in the area, but I thought that there was a very well known barrel company down there.
I don't think so.
This is the 60% I was talking about earlier.
60%.
Right.
Tyler, when you
Tyler knows
turned-
more than 60% of people in bourbon, but the other 40.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah. But
60
but I
is
also said that
at best.
no, because we explained that there's a whole new group of people coming up in that are only 1 or 2 years into it that don't know half of what you know. But I said you were self-proclaimed not super knowledgeable.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Comparatively.
He's like the idiot savant. Like all of a sudden
he'll
it's
pop
like
up
that-
something that surprises
It's like
you.
that part in Old School where
When he just
when he's
blacks
at the
out.
podium.
Yeah. He blacks
that's,
out.
That's Tyler. Yeah.
I never.
That's great.
I never want
like, "What happened?"
to know a lot about one thing.
Yeah.
I don't have the attention for it. Desire.
This is what we love about
I
it.
also think the more that you know about just various different things, the better it is to connect with.
The more you
multiple
forget about
people.
other things.
Yeah, the more you forget, but
But the more you connect with other people with different
yeah.
interests.
Did you guys ever watch Married with Children?
Yeah, of course.
There was an episode where the daughter, Christina Applegate, was going on a quiz show, some sort of trivia show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And so, they were teaching her all this stuff, and it turned out she could remember everything they taught her. But, she had been focusing all of her attention on, beauty products and all this other stuff, so that's what she retained. So there was this theory in the episode, I believe, if I'm remembering right, that she could reach her threshold. And once she reached that threshold, it would push something else out.
Yeah.
So, they figured out at some point she was forgetting some stuff about beauty and different things as she was learning all the stuff.
Beauty and the Beast.
No, as she was learning new stuff for the trivia show, she was forgetting some things about beauty and all those types of things. So they were concerned that they were going to give her too much information and she would forget something. And then when she got into the actual trivia show, the very first thing they told her was the question at the very end for all the money, and they were all excited, and she couldn't remember it. She remembered everything. She was killing everyone and doing great, but they had given her one too many things.
One too many questions.
And it pushed out the very last thing. So that just kind of reminded me.
One of my favorite lines of all time on Married Children is I don't even remember what episode it was. I just remember it's one of those the beginning of the show. Al walks in and Peggy's like, "Did you miss me, Al?" He goes, "With every bullet so far, Peg."
So one thing that I loved about
Al Bundy.
One of the things I loved about that show is the one-liners, that interaction. They were pretty much every episode.
Every episode.
But it reminded me of Cheers when Norm would walk in and they would ask Norm "Hey, what's going on?"
Cheers is good.
What's going on, Norm? And he's like, "Let's not talk about what's going on, Norm. Let's talk about what's going in, Norm. Give me a beer."
Is this like sacrilege? Because when I watched Cheers, I absolutely could not stand the character of Diane.
Oh, no one liked Diane. That was the point.
Oh my god,
was the
I could
point.
not. But to the point, I couldn't even watch it.
Listen,
post Diane. I was
sorry.
Yeah,
Rebecca when Kirstie Alley
came on. Yeah.
No, I think no one liked Diane. Honestly, except, and this is a hot take. This is probably something that could potentially piss off some of our viewers if they're females,
listeners. But
I
yes.
honestly think that Diane was probably only liked by female watchers.
You think so?
Viewers, yeah. She was an annoying character.
Oh my god,
I couldn't stand her. I did like Kirstie Alley much better.
Yeah.
And I think that's why because she was a pain in the ass to work with, and she got fired from the show because she kind of held them for ransom for more money, and then she had to leave. And then
I didn't know that
they
part.
made up later. I think she came back near the end for the finale and stuff. But
Did you ever watch New Girl?
oh, I love New Girl.
Yeah, I love New Girl.
That was a great show.
What's her name is kind of
Zooey Deschanel?
Yeah, she's similar-ish, where she's a very fucking annoying character, but it plays a role.
But I never thought she was annoying like I thought Diane was.
I agree.
I thought she was
I don't know.
Adorable. She was adorable, but
more quirky.
But quirky.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great word.
More quirky, cute.
Quirky, adorable.
Yeah.
She's the type of girl in that show that you would have no problem bringing home to your parents.
Yeah.
That's the type that was the role she played in that show, and she played it to a T. And I would say that to my wife all the time. I was like, she is the type of girl seriously that you would have no problem bringing home to your parents.
Right.
But anyway, we did.
So wait, before New Girl, sorry. One of my favorite arcs on New Girl was when Justin Long is on there and he's dating her.
That's our new pick.
Oh, nice.
And he does the whole thing with they try to talk dirty to each other while they're having sex. And so
it's fucking hilarious.
That is one of my favorite episodes ever. And in fact, I actually have that scene where he talks dirty to her as one of my ringtones. It is so, to me, and honest to God, we watched it as a family.
Yeah.
And so the entire family just died laughing when we watched that.
One of my favorite scenes is when Nick goes to do an up down or whatever you want to call it. Up down. In the
burpee?
bedroom. Oh, it's not really burpee.
I don't know what you're saying.
They were called up downs in football.
Oh, I know. Okay, yeah. When you're kind of in place, running in place, and then they have you go down.
Yeah.
And back up. Yeah, okay.
But he does that in his bedroom. And he's fucking gassed from that one thing. Getting
so are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the Justin Long scene?
Yeah, play it. Yeah.
This is my ringtone.
Here's my caboose. Oh, happy birthday,
Oh, happy birthday!
So like he turns it into like some who's Jimmy Stewart type of thing, like where
They're
he's
like changing characters.
Happy
back
birthday,
and
Jim.
forth.
oh, happy birthday, me. But like that scene, when he did that scene, we had to rewind it like 3 or 4 times because we were laughing so hard. And he's like on the bed on all fours and he spanks his butt when he does that.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
need a
fucking
glass.
good.
Is this a clean glass?
I believe so.
I
It
need
looks
a
like
couple-
it. You need to pour yourself some of this backbone bourbon.
That is the latest
Here,
Mash and Journey pick about to come out.
Are those
119 proof.
This is
those
Yeah,
anything
those are clean.
special?
Those are clean. I would rinse it with water just because it's been sitting there. It might be dusty.
Oh, it's a dusty bottle then. Drink it.
It's a dusty. That's a dusty.
Is yours untapped?
Oh my god.
I haven't taken a sip of that water yet.
What the
if you want.
Seriously, Tyler?
Yes.
Of all the times we've made out and you're worried about it now?
Hey, have they announced a headliner for 4th of July?
Yes.
Who is it?
I don't remember.
Morgan Wallen.
So it's
It's not-
forgettable.
I'm
So it's
kidding.
forgettable.
He
It
sells
is
out the fucking
forgettable.
Ohio
It's not,
State
It's not as good as it's been the last
Stadium
few
in
years.
Taylor
3
Swift.
days.
Taylor Swift? No,
Yeah, it's, I
Bunch
think
of
it's, I think it's
Swifties.
Taylor Swift.
just Swifties.
Yeah.
So you're going to drink the dust.
Yeah. I just don't
Why wouldn't you?
Get you all-
What else are you
get
going
you
to
all
do? He's not
wrapped
going
up
to pour it out on my carpet, I hope.
Why not? Is it
I've done that before.
No, this carpet's not
Oh, I
being
was going to say, I
replaced.
thought you were playing just throw it out.
So we did the Barrel King thing a couple weekends ago in Bourbon, Missouri.
Hey, this is how you know he's a pro.
yeah.
He
Dude, he's
immediately
trying to tell a
took us from
story.
New Girl, Ted Lasso, whatever else we were talking about, back to the actual
Bring it-
original
bring
thing
it
we were
full
talking
circle.
about.
No,
Yeah,
because he
like
knows
he's a
you
pro.
go on a tangent.
Oh,
and he'll never
me?
get back there.
Oh, he goes on a tangent.
Oh, yeah, hold on. So wait. This is me going on a tangent
This is
to
a
talk
tangent.
about
I'm going, okay,
to
I
talk
go on
about
tangent
Tyler.
about a
He goes
tangent.
on fucking sidebar after sidebar after
I
sidebar.
do because things remind me of things, and I will be the. But the
Oh,
funny,
see, this is how I break you guys up. Like you're the tangent guy. He's the storyteller.
yes.
Like
See,
when he gets
I will
into a
take
story,
that. I will take that.
he'll tell the story and
Thank
keep
you.
going.
And, hey-
Brett's kind of the color guy.
So what
He
is
just comes in and he says like his little one-liners, like zingers.
so what is the story guy?
fucking
What is that?
Greenberg.
What is that role usually when it comes to
Fluffing.
I would say I would say host, but fluffing works.
Fluffing works.
Wait, judges, the judges allow it.
Just allow the fluff.
Fluffing,
Yeah.
fluffing works.
It's a great note.
I was
Anyways,
going to
yeah,
say
so,
host. So back to Barrel King.
So for the first time we took 13 patrons to Barrel King, and
That's what I saw.
we were blown away.
That's
These
what I
guys-
saw because I wasn't one of them.
These
That's
guys
right.
came from Seattle, from freaking Canada,
Oh, wow.
from everywhere.
I'm telling you, that's that.
to get to this event.
Yeah.
And huge shout out to Jared and Rachel Record of Barrel King. They opened up their home to us on Friday. They came in. The whole group went there. We were drinking Barrel King, having food, just doing some fellowship.
That's what I saw was some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Those posts
Yeah.
of the people that went.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them had one of your original 2 picks? All of them.
All of them.
So no doubt, guaranteed. Like you've had,
Oh, yeah.
I've had. I
He's
think
got-
you had.
he's got a bottle
He's got a
of
bottle.
it, yes.
Yeah. And you
That
gave
comes
me,
out on special occasions only.
Yeah.
Like,
You
it's
gave
so
me
fucking
a
good.
sample of each.
Yes.
Like a
Yes.
4. I think a 4 ounce.
Fridays,
sample
is that
of
what you
each.
said?
Anal Fridays.
Anal Fridays. Yeah.
Pegging Fridays.
Pegging Fridays.
Pegging
Yeah.
Fridays.
That's you forgot. It's
So we
That's
did.
how Brett deals with
so
it.
we did something a little bit.
Mine didn't last very long.
Yeah, I know.
They were that
I
good.
mean,
They were
they're
that good.
really good. But we did something a little bit new for us, which I thought was really cool. We basically, and I give all the credit to my girlfriend for coming up with the idea, because basically the idea was we were going to do a community blend. So our patrons, all 13, were to come in, because Jared just basically has a barrel house of all these different barrels that he's sourced from everywhere. Mostly MGP, but he's got some other stuff mixed in there. Basically what we're going to do is pick a few barrels out and have everybody work together to come up with like the best blend they could come up with of like 3 to 4 barrels. So we go in there and we're out to dinner the night before, and Kim's like, you should probably break people into teams because this is going to take forever if everyone's doing a blend. I'm like, that's
It's a good point. Yeah, for sure.
So what we ended up doing was picking numbers out of a hat and splitting up everyone into 3 teams. It was like 3 teams of like 4 or 5 or whatever it was. So Scott and I went into the barrel room where we taste through freaking Jared just uncorking every barrel he has. He's like, just taste that one, taste that one. He's such a crazy but amazingly generous guy, and so we're tasting these barrels. We picked 4 barrels to choose from. Like, let's construct a blend with these 4. The first one was kind of our base bourbon, which had all the things you look for. The second one was like this real punchy citrus one. Third one was like a marshmallow graham cracker MGP one.
What's this remind you of?
Yeah, when we did the
Yeah, and then
Bourbon 30.
and then the last one was a 7-year. It was super short barrel. It was only 7 inches of whiskey in the barrel when you
What?
measured it. Yeah.
Wow.
Only after 7 years.
Oh my god.
That's how much Angel
What
share.
would that mean in like bottles amounts?
7 inches of whiskey. I mean, you're lucky if you even get
Maybe 10?
Maybe get 10 to 15
Wow.
bottles out of it.
Wow.
So that was kind of like our, that was the one that was going to round everything out.
Yeah.
So we kind of gave everybody a challenge once we picked the teams.
That
We're
had to
like,
be like so viscous
It was
and
ridiculous.
so like syrupy.
It was like drinking maple syrup.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Syrupy.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
So the crew over there, they filled up 4 bottles of each one for each team, and they got to working. And what we came up with about 2 hours later, and it was amazing because it was really loud. Everybody was eating like pizza and getting like crazy. Then all of a sudden, it just went dead silent. Like these
as everyone's
guys,
tasting
these
things?
guys were in it. They were
That's
blending
cool,
as
though.
a team.
Yeah.
They were
That's cool.
competitive. And then at the end, it was myself, Scott, and Jared. We sat down.
To judge their
my
blend
girlfriend
ideas?
Kim and Scott's wife Julie, they set up a blind tasting for all 3 of us. They put them out there. We left the room. We came back in, and we tasted. And the blend that won is a phenomenal blend. And I think what Jared's going to do is throw it into a stag barrel to finish it a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Do
Yeah.
Kim and Julie, do they like bourbon too?
I mean, I think Julie a little bit more than Kim, but Kim was trying some of the Barrel King stuff. She was really digging it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Trina and I think I've gotten Trina over the hump of she loves vodka, but what she doesn't like, I've grown to learn. I
Really
think
good, Tyler. Yeah,
that
it's
she
very
doesn't
viscous.
she doesn't
Each
tend to
drink's
like
better.
it. I haven't had a drink yet. I'm going to try it here in a second. But what she doesn't tend to like are vodka cocktails. She'll like she likes martinis made from vodka, not gin.
Yeah.
And there's a few, but she just doesn't like sweet stuff. And I feel like most vodka cocktails are sweetened up to give the vodka flavor.
I'll tell you.
But she does tend to what's all me?
Zumbizi Bay has a blueberry like lemonade vodka drink. That
Is it sweet?
yeah.
Because she doesn't like sweet drinks. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
So I think she's leaning
how do you
into like
a
bourbon
vodka
drinks.
drink without like
Martini.
That's my point. That's my point. Is outside of martinis, they tend to try to add sweetness. I think to add flavor to them.
And aren't martinis better with gin anyway? Because they're a little bit
I don't
drier.
think. Well, it just depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like vodka, I think is a good martini.
So
to be
Kim,
honest.
Kim will drink vodka. She gets migraine, so for her, I think vodka does the least amount of
Sure.
any damage to her. You
Yeah.
know, but I mean when she finds a bourbon she likes, she'll actually sip on one.
All
Just
right.
kind of cool.
I'm going to dive into this. Did you guys nose this or say anything about the nose yet?
Yeah, did you guys try this one yet?
It's fucking unreal.
So this is
I love this.
this is our upcoming Backbone fusion pick.
Oh, so this hasn't came out yet?
No,
I
come
try to
out
keep
yet.
up.
I haven't even made the sticker yet. The sticker
Okay.
the sticker's going to be made this week. Actually, probably going to work on it tonight.
Add this to my list of things to buy.
But I'll tell you,
This has a dusty
Yep.
note to it.
Yep,
This is really good. This is better than the K. Luke. I'm sorry.
I think it is.
Well, you didn't lead with that.
But this is a pick, though. So
Yeah.
well, sure.
But I'll tell you what's exactly in that. Well, you guys tell me the tasting notes, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's in that fusion because it's unlike most Backbone picks that are out there.
Yeah, I mean,
So tell us about Backbone. Tell us how they work. Tell us. I know nothing about them. I've seen their stuff, but I don't know anything about them.
they have a backbone, unlike you.
Yeah.
But besides that,
Damn.
Who's got the zingers, Jason?
Right?
Who's got the zingers?
Well, tonight
This-
tonight's
right,
this
I'm-
guy.
You
Yeah.
know what? Tyler must have visited Bread at Sheets.
that's a place I would visit.
Brett infused some zingers into Tyler.
Telling you, made to order, baby.
Brett infused some zingers into Tyler.
One of the things I like most about Jason is, we get some of the.
Is he fluffing Jason right now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, give me the fluff. Give me the fluffer nutter.
Is obviously Jason shares some pretty high end stuff with us, but
Yeah.
but then we get these awesome bottles that are like, I don't know who this is. I don't know
Right.
who this is.
And they never disappoint,
Yes, and they never disappoint.
except the 2-year Texas
Yeah.
whiskey, but that's another
Yeah.
story.
So and
I've refused to talk about it anymore.
and I this this might be
You're
like
scarred.
pre the first time that you came on the podcast, but my wife, like as a birthday gift or whatever, she signed me up with like a it's like kind of before like Patreons, whatever. It's like a monthly subscription, and you got a bourbon sent to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, what was the brand? What was the name of that
I
company?
forget, but
Was it Flaviar?
I don't
No,
know.
it
but was
wasn't.
like
It was something different.
$75 a month,
And it was shit.
and you got a bottle shipped to you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But they picked them, and I just kept getting a shit bottle after shit bottle. I remember one of them was like Koval.
Oh yeah, Koval.
Yeah.
That's out of Chicago.
Yeah, and that one was terrible. I mean, they could have improved shit over the
Sorry,
last
Cole.
5 years. I mean, they could have. They could have improved stuff. Things could have
Yeah.
aged. Like, I mean, similar to Middle West Spirits, you know. But that like almost like ruined it for me of just getting like unknown brands.
It's hard to.
So Jason has really kind of like brought that on of like, I mean, you really don't have to buy some of the big names.
You don't.
to get some incredible whiskey.
So Backbone started in about 2014. Two guys. I think one of them their names is like Nolan Smith or something. The other one name eludes me. But they basically were tasting some barrels, and they tasted something straight out of the barrel. And basically, the name Backbone came from strength, as you know, with our.
You got to have some backbone to drink.
Gotta
it.
have some backbone,
Yeah.
because basically when they were tasting these barrels, like the story went, they said, "Don't cut it." Like, don't cut it.
Show some backbone.
Show some backbone. So they didn't want to add any water to it, and that kind of just spurned off a brand. And they have
is all of their stuff cask strength?
it's mainly cast strength. It's uncut. They have some different ages that they release. They've done some finishes. Their Forge release has been really good. They have an uncut blended bourbon that they sent me that I really love. If you've ever seen the brands called Old Bones, if you've ever seen the Old Bones brands, that's them. That's them as well. So we've worked with Backbone before. I don't know if you have. Do you have the O Sherry bottle, the first one we did?
No.
We did a sherry finish.
I think I joined after you did a couple picks.
We did a sherry finished Backbone that was like super heavy. So we called it O Sherry, like the Steve Perry song.
Yeah.
And it was.
Wasn't that?
It
was
was one
that
of,
Steve Perry or was that Journey?
No, Steve Perry.
Was it Steve Perry?
It was one of those like hidden gem picks that we did that people didn't pay attention to, but once people started ordering it and tasting it, it sold out like that.
Yeah.
So this one is kind of our second go around with them, and it's a blend of multiple finishes,
Oh, interesting.
and that's
like
why it's
that.
called the fusion.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll tell you exactly what the finishes are here.
I'm
in a
not
second.
usually a fan of finished bourbons, but this is.
I wouldn't have guessed this is.
Yeah, I
finished.
wouldn't have. This is really good.
Isn't that good?
This is really good. It's got an interesting finish to it, which makes me, now that you've said that there's some finishes to it, makes me wonder if that's what I'm getting. But I would have never guessed it, like you said, Brett. I would have never guessed it had some
I saw
interesting
your
finishes.
post on the Maker's 46 cask.
On Instagram.
Just your question to everyone.
Yeah.
Curious on your thoughts on it. I haven't had it yet.
This
I
year's
actually-
version of it, you mean?
I actually
I
wish.
don't know that I've ever had it.
I actually wish it was a
46 cask? You've never had it?
46
so, no.
cast strength.
It's
delicious.
good. It's
I
cracker.
actually wish the new bottle was a combo of the new one and the old one. I like the old bottle shape of
Oh.
Maker's 46 cast
I
strength.
do too.
But I do like that red label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they combined that bottle shape with the red label, it kind of would have been like
Nice.
really cool.
Yeah.
I've got-
So this is
You love Makers. I've got
yeah.
Makers 46 cask in the back if you want some.
Actually, I was given a sample of I think it was last year, though. Last year's Maker's Memorial Tournament pick.
Oh, like a private select?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know what's in this back. These finishes in this.
Yeah.
So if you had to guess some finishes, what do you think?
Fuck. I'm not good with that. That's not where I.
So this is a
Yeah.
4-barrel blend of equal parts. I will tell you, one of them
So
is just
each
a
one's 25%.
One of them is just a straight bourbon that was rebarreled. And it's a 7-year produar
Is there a
That's-
rum finish in
That's
there?
the MGP. Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Let's
There's like
see.
a-
That's why he's
That's
the
a
color
good call.
guy.
There's-
That's why he's the color guy.
He hasn't said shit for 5 minutes.
That's what I mean. He'll just come in. That's why he's
Rum.
the color guy says little
he's-
words, but what he says is very
Hey,
meaningful.
you'll like this one. He's Kenny on TNT.
No, he
I'm Charles.
he's Tom Hanks in Big Bugs.
Yeah.
He just has bugs.
Bugs. He just says bugs.
Who just goes into a meeting and says bugs?
Yeah. He's like, I don't get it. I don't get
don't
it.
get
I
it."
don't get it. The bug.
God, I love that this group knows Tom Hanks big. I was just talking to someone the other day.
Last week we were talking about this on the show about Tom Hanks.
It was fucking Chris, right?
Yeah, he hadn't
the
seen
Flying Buckeye.
He hadn't seen hardly
I
any
think
of it.
he thought like the first movie of Tom Hanks's career was like
Forrest Gump
Castaway
or
or
something.
Forrest Gump
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
No, he had a huge career before all of that.
Oh my God, he didn't even realize all the movies. That's right.
So there's 2 left, right? We know it's an unfinished bourbon, right? You said there's like a straight bourbon in there. There's a rum finish.
You have a
So there's
straight,
two
you have a
more.
straight rebarreled bourbon in there, so almost kind of
Okay.
like a double oaked.
Okay.
Basically, you have the rum finish, and there's 2 more. One of them I know you will never get, but the other one you might.
You're not trying to do almost like a cigar blend or anything with this, are you?
Like a French oak?
Dude, when we picked this, we didn't know what was in it. We just thought this was the best tasting one out of the bunch that we got. Because we got some MGP single barrels that we thought were good, but nothing like that blew us away.
This is outstanding.
Yeah, it really is.
Let me ask before I make a decision here. What do you have coming up next? Because I'm trying to decide if I want a little bit more of this.
You should,
If-
because the last one is gonna kill your palate. It's the Rio Penelope, which
Like
is
it's
the
super high. Is
no,
it
no, it's Amburana and honey. You won't be able to taste anything after you have that.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. That sounds like a good dessert bourbon.
it is a dessert bourbon.
Yeah.
It's the finisher.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, the finisher.
Have
the finisher.
so I had a sample and
All right. Do
enjoyed
you mind
it.
if I have a little bit more?
Dude, pour what you want. I'm getting more of it. It's the prototype pick.
The prototype.
I'm going to buy that when that comes out for
Yeah.
sure,
You
man.
should, because
Absolutely.
I guarantee that's not going to sell out. So
You know what
Oh,
your
100
get as
yeah.
many as
It
you want.
might after being on our crazy hot podcast.
You're
You're
welcome.
going to get new patrons
I hope so. There's some slots available.
Are there really?
Wait,
Couple.
to move up?
I don't think there's
To
anything
move
higher
up?
than
move
I.
up?
Oh, there's some to move up because I've tried to
Get
move up the
your
other day and
ass
it was
up
sold
there.
out.
I'll,
No, last time I looked, it wasn't available. But if it
I was
is, I'll
telling my
bump
buddy
up.
too.
I'll look.
I told him, he was like, I'm thinking about joining one, and I was like, do this, but I don't know if he has any. You really want to be in this category.
All right, so
Yes.
you got another finish guess?
Armagnac.
He said French oak.
I was going to say sherry just because you did it before.
Yeah, we wanted to avoid sherry, but I'll just tell you, it's port. There's a port finish in there too.
Damn it! I'm terrible at finishes. I'm terrible at finishes.
There's a third one that you'll never get, which is Amaro. That's
Amaro.
the third finish.
Really?
Yeah, which is a very floral type
Ooh, I
of
get that.
thing. Yeah,
Now that you say it,
but the combination of them, you would never think would work, and it's.
if you want any of that old line, I don't know if you do or not, but
I'll try later.
Yeah.
The American single malt.
So I had a sample of Bardstown's Steve Nally's legacy release.
Which one?
Steve Nally's
His which release?
legacy release.
Oh, how was that?
I enjoyed it.
when
Yeah.
did you have this?
So
Is this
I
what you
went
said
with
you
my-
would have brought a sample if you didn't have a kid to
Yes.
contend with?
So I went with my buddy to
I appreciate
the
it.
memorial, and before going, like we met at our pre-spot to take the
Hemorrhoid cream.
bus over. And in the past, you could like we had a way that you could kind of sneak some sample bottles in and have yourself some drinks. But this year they're super strict.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this: how do they prevent you from sneaking in bottles?
You taste
Well, they look
strawberry
through,
Pop
they
Tart.
look, they look through everything.
Do they look in your nutsack?
I mean, yeah.
When
but,
I go
like,
into concerts, I have 3 vials,
they do a
4-ounce vials, one on each side of my nutsack,
No.
which is not comfortable. You walk like you've just been riding a horse for like 2 days.
yeah.
4-ounce vials, not the 2-ouncers, the
4
bigger
ounce,
ones.
the bigger
Damn.
ones, and then
So they
Guess where
also,
the third one
They
goes.
do a
What
metal,
did I say before?
they
Challenge
do
is
a-
like riding a horse. If it
That's
ain't
right.
difficult, you're not doing it right.
and they do not set off any sensors. I get scanned all the time. Nothing.
Nice.
So anyway, we just got to the parking lot and spent 30 minutes drinking and he had all
Tailgating.
these,
Tailgating
he had all
at a
these-
golf?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tailgating
Nice.
for a golf event.
I love it.
That's what you
So,
do, baby.
That's actually a better story anyway.
Yeah. So he had. I'm trying to think of. So he had that. What else did we drink here? Sorry, boys.
Dude, you're gonna have that.
Great podcasting moment.
You're also getting the collab.
Makers.
You're getting the collab barrel as well.
The
Who
Peerless.
is?
I'll tell you
I
about it later. Yeah.
The Peerless Double Oak, which
I
came
feel
in
like
at
I need to
111%.
take them to sheets is what I feel like.
Sam Houston 15.
MTO.
It's all right. And then that
Reverse grip.
Bardstown. But yeah.
Made to order. That's what he said by
MTO. I get it.
I didn't hear a thing
Yeah.
Tyler said.
Yeah, you fucking jackass.
I'll hear it in post when I exit it out.
Don't talk about any books this time.
Right.
Earlier, Tyler, you had this.
So here's the wait. Hold on. So I had a guy you might have seen it in our Instagram who was asking us about books we've been talking about on the podcast. He was talking. I feel like Bourbon Justice.
Yeah.
But there was a part of me that was sitting there thinking, I hope to God he's not asking what Tyler was talking about.
You didn't bleep that out, did you?
Not the second time we talked about it.
Okay.
No, I left it in there because we actually salvaged that in a way that was not cancelable.
So we're calling this the strawberry Pop-Tart with icing because we think
I like that.
Yeah, this one. It's really
I think
good.
I'm sure you're gonna have a cool label and shit too, with like a Pop-Tart on it. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good description.
Who does your artwork?
I do.
You do it all?
Doesn't surprise me after seeing your YouTube channel.
I think that shit's so fun. So 2 different times I went to North High Brewing, and like they let you brew your own beer, and they let you make your own label. And I made the label.
They let you brew your own beer?
Yeah,
brew. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, am I saying it wrong? But yeah.
No.
You decided you want to do like a like an IPA.
How long do you have to wait?
So it's like a month or 2 months that it sits. I can't remember. And then you bottle it. You come back and bottle it.
That makes sense. Well, I did my own beer brewing kit in college.
It's a fun group activity.
Yeah. Okay.
Like money wise, I'm not going to say it's expensive, but
for the experience and everything.
Right, it's about the experience.
It makes sense. Yeah,
you're like, a case of beer cost me $45. What's about the experience of doing it?
Right.
For sure.
Anyway, I created the label both times, and I thought that was like so much fun. I'll have to show you. There's one that we did like a Christmas ale, and I did this like little creepy elf with like a bag, like that he's stealing shit. And then we did a porter one time, and I have this really cool octopus. I'll have to show you too. But I called it like the pulpo porter because pulpo is octopus in Spanish.
In Spanish.
Yeah, and it's just really cool.
So do you give them the image and they put it on the label?
And they asked if they could like have it to put in their book, and I'm like, fuck yeah, you can put that in your book.
It's interesting you brought that up. So Scott and I are actually coming out with a beer in the fall.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Wintertime.
Like for the Patreon?
For the Master Journey Whiskey Club.
Really?
What we did was
I'm not a huge beer guy, but I might be.
Scott partnered with Salhalla, which they make amazingly good beer up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, I mean, there's beer everywhere. Obviously, in Wisconsin.
Sure.
So they know their beer.
Supposedly, they're the most drunk state in the country.
There's nothing else to do in Wisconsin.
No, honestly, there was a report out that came out.
Cheese curds.
It might have even been Barstool. It might have been Barstool, but I think they were the most drunk state in the country.
So we asked Foregate Whiskey Company, to give us one of their port sherry finished barrels
to age the beer in,
age the stout in. So we have a bourbon stout.
Is it aging right now?
It's aging right now.
Oh, that's badass.
And we're calling it my nickname back in high school, which was Stout Belly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's gonna be called Stout Belly.
That's good.
And I get to design the can.
That's cool too.
And dude, I'm so like pumped. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool.
Trina designed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that shit's so much fun.
Trina designed our new can that's going in.
Yeah, I really like that. That was fun. That was that's when I stole Photoshop and did all that stuff.
Trina designed our new can that's going in upstairs.
Your new shitter?
Yeah.
Can you sit on it backwards? Toilet?
So one of my favorite lines from Fletch 2. Or no, sorry. Vacation 2. European Vacation.
Yeah.
They're on their way to Europe. They're in the airplane. Chevy Chase is sitting in the aisle seat. The stewardess comes up and says, "Would you like a Coke?" Or it might have been Pepsi. Doesn't matter. And he's like, "Oh, sure." And she's like, "Would you like that in the can?" And he looks back at the bathroom and he's like, "No, I'll have it here."
Yeah.
Like typical Chevy Chase.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch Community?
Yeah. Oh no, Community. I haven't watched.
I've never watched it in my life. One of my buddies told me to watch it. I'm on season 2 now. Almost finished.
I'm so excited for you. I
is
binge watched the whole
so
thing.
good.
It's so fucking good.
It's been a week. I've watched already.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
almost
it's so
through 2
good.
seasons. Because I'm waiting on the new season of Archer. I'm waiting on the new season of Archer. All right. Speaking of
Community is
television,
so good.
Well,
I am
really
gonna
quick,
have
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
on.
yeah, go ahead.
But just real quick, before you say, because I know what he's going to say.
I gotta go.
soon.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
do.
go.
No, I gotta go now.
He's gonna-
I haven't even been home yet.
I understand, but before we get into the Ted Lasso thing, real quick, I'm not going to get too much into it.
No, you're
if
fine.
you haven't watched on Amazon the show Jury Duty yet,
Yes.
Okay.
you need to cue that up immediately.
Prime Video?
On Prime
Okay.
Video.
oh, is that the one where they fake the
Yeah.
people think they're in a real
yes.
jury?
Well, it's just one guy that
Who doesn't
he's,
know.
He's in a sea of actors and actresses.
so
and
one
it's-
guy thinks he's really in jury duty.
Yeah.
right?
Is this
You-
reality?
You watch this show,
Yeah.
right?
It's
I have
kind
not
of a
yet,
reality
but I've
show.
heard-
It's
Okay.
amazing.
Because I don't have
Okay.
Amazon.
It's only like 6 or 7 episodes.
Is it funny?
It's hilarious.
Okay.
The shit that goes down with amongst the jurors that this guy
just
witnesses,
to mess with him.
just to mess with him,
Okay.
is beyond like any like you would. I
How
don't
many-
know how
many seasons are there?
I don't know how. It's only just this one season, but
Is
it's
it
only like
done
6 or 7.
or
It's
is it
done. You
so
can
it's
watch
just
the
a
entire
limited,
thing.
It's a limited series.
Kim and I
They're
watched
not
it
doing a
in
season
a
2.
weekend.
And they're not doing a season 2.
They might be. I don't know if they do. I hope they do.
Oh god, but okay. Someone else told me about this show.
I've
this
heard of it.
this the guy that's in it. I don't know how he didn't think he was on like candid camera or something. The shit that these people did to him.
Oh, so
was
it's
hilarious.
one guy the whole season,
Yeah.
or so it's not a
they-
different
mini-
juror.
so-
It's not a different
like
person.
so
each
it's like
episode.
steps. Like it goes through like this guy is like in the jury duty office ready to go like to the selection process.
Yeah.
And then he gets into the selection process. And then another episode is like he gets selected.
So hold on.
and then all these people around him are all actors and actresses.
So the whole season is just the one juror.
just the one juror.
Okay, but so this is the interesting part to me. This is a huge experiment to try, because what happens at the end of the season if this juror is like, "Fuck no, you're not using my likeness. You're not using me." I feel like an idiot. Like you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he thought he
They'll
was in
say
jury
we're going to
duty.
give you all this money to sign here. Is
But
what they're going
that
to do.
would honestly, but that would be my question. Is like.
You keep throwing money
They-
at him till he agrees.
But they go through this whole season,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, they say, "Hey, by the way, this wasn't
Well,
real."
it's really cool how they kind of like talk to him. But I'm just saying, I don't want to ruin anything.
no. So is that part of it? Do they resolve it? Like do
They
show you that
resolve
part of
it, and you're kind of like waiting for that part to happen. But it's only like 7 episodes. It goes really fast because it's just hilarious what they do. There's like a sex scene part of it that is fucking hilarious.
Really?
I was crying.
Okay.
And the fact that this guy thought that this was like normal behavior, it's insane. And it's good. So I'm just wanted to like throw that out there to the listeners.
And it's called Jury Duty.
It's called Jury Duty.
On
It's
Amazon
on Amazon
Prime.
Prime. Watch
All
it
right.
immediately. All right, Ted Lasso.
Hold
go.
on. Before
right.
we do,
I'm going.
You gotta
I
leave.
haven't
You
been
gotta
home.
leave.
I haven't been home, dude. I have been left
Yeah,
my house
I gotta-
at 6 a.m.
no.
this
I
morning.
gotta leave soon too,
And
but I
fucking haven't been
have
home.
to. I have
Yeah.
to
we've
go
only got
this,
about
but-
10 more minutes.
So,
and then I gotta finish
apologies.
anyway, so.
All right.
Jason, appreciate it as always for
Hey,
bringing
well,
everything.
Let's pour the last one while we talk about.
If he wants to.
Oh, is there? Oh,
Want
that's
to try
right.
that before you go,
Penelope.
real quick.
I'm good.
All right, you're good. It'll probably break your palate anyway.
That was loud.
Is that what you were?
That was kind of loud.
Scrubs. Yeah. Damn. How do you not get banged all day?
Because I don't.
You missed the sheets conversation earlier. Thank you for taking those. Appreciate it, Brett.
You want to take mine? 'Cause
Hey,
I can
Brett.
take 'em.
I'm glad you got to see me today.
I'm glad you got to see me as well.
So, I think dude misinterpreted.
I love you, Brett.
Love you, man.
I think dude misinterprets my
No, I don't.
disdain for season 2 of, like, I don't like the wokeness of it, and that's not it at all.
Got it. You haven't.
There was no wokeness in season 2. It didn't happen
Yeah,
until season
but-
3.
yeah, but
but
that's
I
why
thought,
you're
but
like,
I,
I
but I
like-
thought. Hold on, before you even say what you're going to say, I thought they straddled the wokeness in a good way. I didn't think they overwoked it. I think they touched on some things that I thought were.
Yeah, if he thought season 2 he was gonna hate, he's gonna
No,
hate
but I
season
don't.
3.
I didn't think.
But I've heard a lot
See,
of
he
people say
mentioned
I
season
don't
3.
love season 2, but then love season 3. So that's why I will give it the chance to go back to it.
You need to because
But
it
Judas
finishes
said,
in such
like,
a good
it's
way.
his favorite of all time, and to me,
I
season
said
2
it's one of my favorite shows of all. One of my favorite shows. Of
I
all
would
time.
agree. I think for me, it definitely struck a chord.
So season 1, when it hit off, I was like, "This is they just had the perfect season."
Like,
Like,
can you
it was
push
just
that mic just a little closer to your mouth?
It was
There you go.
There you go.
It was incredible. I loved it. It was like 90% comedy.
Hey, hold on. This is great. I'm sitting here looking at my glasses like, holy shit, I already drank my bourbon. And I look over to my right hand and I'm holding a full glass of bourbon.
Jillian did the same thing the other day. She goes, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" I'm like, "You literally just put it in the car for Carter."
Not for nothing, but isn't that fusion getting better the more you sip it?
It is.
It's so good.
You're pissing
Really
me off right
It's
now because
so good.
I'm like,
is.
damn it.
It's so
I'm
good.
I'm gonna get this for sure.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So-
Sorry,
Go ahead,
finish
man.
on.
Yep.
I thought it
Or
was
continue.
perfect. It was
Season 1.
Yeah, they filled it with comedy,
Mm-hmm.
and the storylines were amazing. They set it up well, and I was like, I cannot wait for season 2. And then season 2 came, and it was like 10% comedy and like 90% sappy storylines. And what I mean by sappy
I feel
is
like season 1 was 90% sappy storylines as well. I don't think they changed their tone at all throughout the whole show.
That's not. I don't even know how you come to that conclusion. There was an infinite amount of less comedy in season 2 than there was season 1.
So
it's
you're
not
so
even close.
So season 2, we kind of we tackle Ted Lasso having the anxiety issues.
Yes, we have that
and the
and then-
therapist.
But there was
Yes.
still a ton
but then,
of comedy.
But then you also have the relationship with the owner and the soccer player.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the dating app.
the
thing.
Nigerian,
Yes.
the
Yes.
dating app, yeah.
And so there was so much more around the side stories. You got introduced to those in season 1.
But if
Hold on,
any
hold on,
show,
hold on,
but
hold on,
no,
hold on.
I'm not stopping you. I'm adding. Any show you watch, the
Yes.
first season is you're getting to know all these characters, and there's comedy and all that stuff. And the second season
Correct.
of everything, they have to figure out a way to kind of continue the comedy,
That
but
you
also
dive into-
you dive in. You have to go deeper into people's
Yes.
relationships.
But
That's just normal.
But I think that they like whenever they did, like the comedy didn't. For me, the comedy didn't really continue that much. What do you want? Do you just want me?
No, but
deep
you're
throating the
barely. You're
fucking
not
mic
even
over
bringing.
here.
You're not even touching the
Well,
yellow.
you should have done. You should have went like.
Yeah.
You had
I'm
me at
loud
hello.
enough. I'm loud enough.
You
loud
had me at
enough,
hello.
You had me at hello.
Carter started to be like, "Shh, daddy, shh."
That like at bedtime?
No,
Or
just
when?
like at any point.
Just
in time.
anytime you
the other
talk?
day, yeah, he goes, he'll be like, "Shh, daddy, shh," and then he came over and he was like, "Stay here, daddy," and then like went over there and was like, "Stay." Yeah.
So he thinks of you as a dog.
Yes.
That's pretty fair.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. So it's season 2. Continue.
So
on.
yes, I know that they went into the different storylines in
Yeah.
a more in-depth scenario, but I think they removed the comedy aspect of it way too much, and it just became like a complete turn of events of like 90% comedy to like 10%. And it was just
I wouldn't go that drastic
Yeah,
on season
I
2.
wouldn't say
I
so
would
either.
now. Well, you haven't seen season 3 yet. Now, if you made that argument on season 3, I
Yeah,
would
I could
probably
maybe-
tend to
But-
agree with you.
But it was-
season 2. I thought was more 50-50.
I thought
you think
season
it's-
1 was 50-50
you
to
think
begin
season
with.
3 is even less comedy?
Dude.
No, so
then I'm out.
not
Like-
in a bad way.
But not in a
though.
bad way but just listening to him and what he's saying about season 2, he's going to hate season 3.
But he's wrong.
I,
That's the problem.
but a lot of people, season 3 took a lot of criticism
and it did. But you know what? Here's the thing.
because of because of
Right.
the wokeness.
But and I understand some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like they.
And you're the first person that would be like,
Yes,
no.
you're right. I am.
Yeah, so
but I
that's-
felt like they straddled it very well. I thought they talked about some issues and they didn't make it huge. They maybe spent a couple of episodes on something, and like some of those episodes overlapped. You know, so like you might have had 2 episodes on one thing, 2 episodes on another. They kind of overlapped, but they never really
Yeah.
focused on it in a way that was like, hey, this is about the wokeness. It was about the relationship more than anything else. And the concern, which I honestly, without giving away too many things, okay, there was a gay relationship in the 3rd season, 2 of them actually in the 3rd season, okay. they could have gone and jumped the shark with both of those, and they were close to with one of them. With the female one, I feel like they were close to jumping the shark. Mm-hmm. The male one I thought was very poignant, and I thought it was very the conclusion of it was outstanding. I thought,
Yeah,
I
like
thought
Schitt's Creek, like where it was just there.
It brought me to almost tears. The and not in a bad way. Like it was a very well constructed and well delivered conclusion to the male gay relationship. The female one I thought was a little kind of like, why is this one here?
Yeah, that one definitely felt a little bit more disjointed,
Forced.
a little bit more forced. I get it. That one I felt like was like, we're just gonna kind of
throw this in here.
I think that storyline ended up having a causality by the end of the season.
It did.
But I totally agree.
During
when
the
it was
season,
happening,
it was like it almost felt
like
forced.
I don't really care about this.
Right.
Not that it's a bad thing.
Normally, a female gay relationship, I'm going to be all on board for. But no,
the female?
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you anything.
What's his name? The
I'm not
the
gonna
star English player, the older guy, Kent. His girlfriend,
Roy Kent.
Yeah,
Roy Kent.
Is it his girlfriend? I can see her being like, the storyline being like, well.
So anyway,
go
I'm not going to tell you anything because you need to watch it, and then you come back to us and tell us what you think. It's like 10 episodes. It's not that much of your time. It really isn't.
My time's valuable.
It is so valuable. As your son's telling you to shh, daddy, shh. So, but I honestly feel like the thing I loved about Ted Lasso, even in season 1, there was comedy. But one thing that always was in that show was heart. There was just this heart, this like underlying backbone, not to bring it back to your bourbon, but the underlying backbone to the show was just the heart of the show and the relationships in the show. And the biggest complaint I ever saw on like Reddit, because I followed a Ted Lasso Reddit, was Ted Lasso leaving his son. Like, how could he leave his son? How could he move away from his son? Like, if he's this great guy, how could he just leave his son? Which is outside of reality, that's a legitimate concern. This is a TV show, so
which is one of the moments in season 3 that actually made me tear up.
Yes, right. And
and I'll admit it. When that part happened, there's a part in season 3 where his mother shows up, and you'll see it. I'm not going to do any spoilers for you. But to get into this conversation it's like you're kind of like listening to it, and then when Ted Lasso says these certain words and what happens to him, it just hits you in the gut. And I just started like tearing up. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even watch this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So season 3, I think, took a lot of heat because, yes, there was some interspersal woke, maybe subject matter that come along. And I think definitely in the beginning, and I know what you're going to think because I thought it too. I'm like, man, it's really not focusing on the soccer much at all.
Which I never thought was the point of the show to begin with. If you thought soccer was the point of the show, then you were watching it for the wrong reason.
No,
but soccer was never the point of the show. It was always the relationship. It was always the relationship.
But the folks that I think Tyler falls into this category. If you fell in love with the show because of the soccer in the first season, and the interplay between the comedy and the people involved, that's what you expect.
But the whole first season was mostly fish out of water. It wasn't soccer. It was this guy plucked out of Iowa.
But you can't argue that there's more soccer.
There was more soccer, but that wasn't the point of the show.
I know that.
The point of the show was the fish out of water, the comedy that ensues from the fish out of water, but then this idiot guy who turns out to not necessarily be an idiot that you think he is. He's just this amazing reader of character.
But I think you're also looking at it in a lens backwards. I think if you look at it in a true lens of never seeing it.
You mispronounced correctly.
No. If you look at it in a lens of you've only seen season 1, you're interested in how this fish out of water transforms the club. You look at it in a true soccer lens.
But you're talking about relationships and
Yes.
and
And then it
development
goes-
of human beings.
Yes,
And that's the
but
show
then it
never
goes
leaves that. The show
completely
never
away
leaves
from
that.
it.
No,
Oh,
it doesn't.
season 2, like
No, because
it,
because the evolution in season 2 is who's the biggest evolution focused on in season 2? Wonder Kid, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
think
you're
it's
seeing his
evenly
evolution,
split.
which gets resolved in season 3 in a way that you're like, you kind of see it coming, but you don't. And it's awesome.
Roy Kent also has a huge
hit-
evolution,
right? Which happens in season 2.
He's
Yeah.
probably has the biggest
largest of all of them.
evolution
Yeah.
Him
of
and
every
him and
character.
Wonder Kid are probably
Yes.
the
Yeah.
two biggest. And then, but Jamie too, Jamie Tart. Those
Yes.
three are probably the three biggest evolutions of everyone in the show.
But to me, like, so
Jamie
here's-
Tart's evolution was huge. You can't underscore his.
Oh
Here's-
yeah, I think Jeffrey. I think Tart ended up being probably my favorite character.
Right.
By the end of season 3,
You hated him in season 1.
You hate him in season 1.
You hate him because he's
Yes.
the one in the show that's like he's tearing the freaking the team apart.
Yeah. So I would say, like, with your comments and not seeing season 3, I guess if they would have just taken that in and almost stretched it into more seasons or stretched the storylines farther apart. But I feel like it was just like such a dramatic change from 1 to 2.
So
It was like, here's the introduction, and then it was like slap in your face.
I don't think it was that
change.
different.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But
I probably
my
don't. I
argument
probably
to
couldn't
you
agree
about
with that.
stretching it into multiple seasons is that failed with Lost. Lost was the serial show that started all the serial shows, meaning you had to watch every episode. Like shows like Cheers, Frasier, all these other shows in the past, you could just watch an episode, miss 3 weeks, watch an episode, miss 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was like The Office,
Right.
You know, Parks and Rec, all that.
But serial shows really started and took off, and I think people realized with Lost, like producers and directors and stuff, that you could really rope people in and make them feel like they had to watch every episode. With Lost, was the one that I think got people to that place, and I think what I think is with serial shows like that, where you need to watch every episode, and DVRs made that possible. VCRs, people recorded things, but it wasn't nearly as big as DVRs. With digital TV and all that stuff now makes it possible for them to do serial shows. I think, honestly, with serial shows like that, stretching so back to your comment, my favorite thing about Ted Lasso is they set out for a 3-season arc and they stuck to a 3-season arc. The thing that
but maybe that did them in because they had to go so quickly.
I don't think so. I think it made everything succinct. The big thing that I think people hated about Lost is they started off to be, I think, a 5-season show. That was their goal, and they got convinced by the ABC or whoever it was, Fox or whoever, convinced them to stretch it out. And you can tell there's a lull in like seasons 2 through 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that do that. And I think Jason Sudeikis
And the fact that they didn't allow that to happen in
if you've watched
Ted Lasso?
if you've watched his interviews, he was very kind of pinpointed on this is what we're going to do. This is how long we're going to do it for. Because you can easily take any of those storylines and some of them that you're going to see
and turn them out
in
to
season 3,
5 and 6
you can
seasons.
stretch
if you
them
wanted
out,
to.
yeah.
Sure.
And then everything will just feel like it always does, just dragged out and repetitive.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And even Yellowstone is starting to have that feel, but now they've announced the last season. So
I stopped kind of watching Yellowstone.
It's almost done now. They've announced. I think this next half season is the one that comes out in June or July this year.
So the start of season
second half of this season.
So what's this newest season that's now?
I don't know.
Was it 4
like
or 5
or 4 or something?
Whatever the newest season is. I got about 3 episodes in, and I saw what's her name?
The daughter
like smash somebody over the head with a bottle.
Oh yeah, at the bar.
And I'm just like, dude, all right, I can't do it anymore. And then the Casey and his
her
wife.
evolution is one of the main points of the show too.
But I feel like she's I feel like she's
Potentially,
de-evolving.
But I think, what's his name? Her husband now.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name. I still can't get him out of my head from Higher Learning.
Oh, I know.
You know, the skinhead.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
like
I
that's
know.
that blows my mind that's the same guy.
Well, he was also in another movie that I loved.
He's been in a lot of movies.
School Ties.
School Ties. Yeah, he's the one
Yeah.
is in the background and
Yeah, he's kind of the voice of reason.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
right. And
But
it's such a
But yeah, but like even that show for me, it was just like this is, Casey and his wife. Like, how much more shit can you do to them?
right.
Like, I'm just
Right.
like I'm
they're
getting.
they're like this whipping post.
Yeah,
Almost.
and I feel like it was the character. I'm going back a little bit, but 90210, Jenny Garth's
yeah,
Garth's character.
Yeah.
They put her through like bulimia. She was raped. She had a.
Well,
She-
it's just like Grey's Anatomy.
They put her through everything that you could think of.
Every episode on Grey's Anatomy is just some crazy ass case that happens once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
but they have it every week.
Yeah.
You know?
I got to talk about this.
Yeah, go ahead,
this,
Brent.
this is outstanding.
You haven't had. The
Are you still drinking the Fusion?
Oh, you're on the Penelope?
Yeah.
Oh, you poured the Penelope?
Shit. I'm
So
not
so
on
what's your
that yet.
thoughts on it?
So, my first nose, like, it's so pungent. Mm-hmm. So first nose, I immediately thought of, like Grand's flaky biscuits. Then the second one, I was like, that's a vanilla bomb, but like a very rich vanilla, almost like a Greek yogurt vanilla on the nose. And then I went back in, and this is like, it reminds me of my grandma used to just, this is like a staple at whenever we'd stay over, was just toast with butter and honey.
Yeah.
And
Toast
but
with
it's like
butter and
it's-
honey. I haven't had that since I was a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that's a flashback,
That's
right?
It was so nostalgic
Dude,
on the nose.
that's such a spot on note. Jesus, Tyler, what happened to you?
Yeah, right?
The last two live streams, his notes, I've been like,
Holy shit.
like
You know,
Everything you just said, I knows just now.
just happened.
Toast, honey,
Toast,
butter.
honey, and butter.
Well,
Holy
and-
shit.
because I immediately was like, this is like the because I went there
You're not
because
lying
I
about
also
this
put, like,
ruining everything for the rest of the
Yeah.
night.
But
I can
take,
tell.
But take toast, honey, and butter, and sprinkle some cinnamon on it.
I haven't gotten cinnamon on the nose
Which
yet.
is that more of the palate?
That's more the palate.
I haven't gotten
which is
cinnamon on the
which is
nose.
what you're going to get
Okay.
from the Amburana cask.
All right.
But that's immediately what I thought of, and I was like,
Damn.
you have to, like, it's not just the honey. Like, there has to be some sort of like buttery bread mixture in that nose.
So real quick, so when you
I almost get like a sourdough bread.
So I
too,
want
like
you guys
a-
to take a sip of this and just off the taste, tell me what you'd be willing to pay for this.
And Tyler, I'm not going to say anything, but it moved a little bit when you were describing all that stuff. I'm just going to say.
I'm not gonna say 6 to midnight, but maybe 6 to 9
6 to
p.m.
9.
6 to
Well,
9.
My
this
little
is-
baby's all
so-
grown up.
One of the fantastic things about this
man,
is right
what was
away.
that? I got a completely different nose on that one. Go ahead.
Amburana is crazy.
I really think that the palate matches the nose
nose.
on this, which is I love that.
I feel like there's more spice though and baking
Yeah.
spice on the palate than the nose. The nose to me, I just get what you said. I get honey, I get breadiness, I get butter
I'm getting a cinnamon roll with the creamy icing
with
on
that
top.
icing on top.
Like a vanilla.
That's and I'm getting that on the nose.
that,
Like
yeah.
this
That's-
just hit me.
So essentially, any Amburana cask, most of them, that's what you're gonna get. Amburana doesn't have many. There's not a lot of depth of flavor and different avenues that flavor profile goes. Amburana stays very cinnamon roll. Also, somebody told me which I thought was spot on, the Taco Bell fried
Churros.
cinnamon
Churros.
twists.
the
Yeah.
churros,
The cinnamon twist?
Yeah, the cinnamon twist. That's exactly
That's
it.
exactly what you taste.
This is it.
That's it.
Holy
so
shit!
I don't do this well at all.
Whew.
I typically will separate drinking and eating. Like, I can't do them together.
Yeah.
Trina's-
I'm with you.
Trina's
And
similar.
a lot of people will have a drink after eating too. And again, I can't really do it. Like it just kills the drink.
Yeah,
for me.
if Trina's full, she can't drink.
Yes, same thing. I can't do
I've
it.
never had a
I can't really
situation
do.
where
I don't really ever do whiskey with food, to be honest.
Yeah.
with food, but I can do it before and after.
but-
It doesn't
Before and
bother
after,
me.
yeah.
But sometimes I wish that I pinpointed bourbons a little bit better and could sit there and be like, okay, the next time I make a piece of toast with some butter and honey on it, like I want to pour, like just to pair these together.
compare them
perfectly.
just to
Yes.
see like
Yes.
this is ridiculous. You were pinpoint. That's the best I've ever heard you give a description on a flavor.
So for me, this is a on the nose.
This is crazy.
This became way more honey than I did.
The honey's starting to more and more.
This
take
feels like
over.
Winnie the Pooh took a shit in my
Yeah.
glass. Yeah. Like Winnie the Pooh just pooed in my Glen.
That might be the cold opener. That might be the cold opener.
Winnie the Pooh pooped in my glass. He took a crap, and it's all honey.
But you're right.
So this
the more
bottle-
you drink it, the more the honey shows.
Yes.
So this bottle is $100 MSRP.
Oh, we never did answer what we
Yeah.
think we'd pay for that.
So what do you think you'd pay for it?
I don't know that
Would
I'd
you pay $100 for it?
No, probably like 70, 80 at
So
most.
that bottle,
85.
on secondary is going for $250 to $300.
That's-
And I'm trying to figure out why.
If you are a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh shitting in your glass, no, but honestly, if you're a huge fan of like honey finishes, which is a big thing right now, like I shouldn't say a big thing, but there's a market for it right now.
But that is not Jack Daniel's honey. Like
No.
that's like fucking good honey finish.
Well, it's like the Starlight or the Nulu honey finishes.
Well, Starlight does an Amburana, which very much is just, again, it's all cinnamon roll. There's a huge difference between the first fill honey.
I can't smell anything but cinnamon roll when I nose it now.
There's a huge difference between first fill Amburana, second fill Amburana, third fill. Because Amburana, mainly if you do a first fill, it's going to come off medicinal. Because that Amburana gets so astringent that it almost comes off like a medicinal, like cough drop type quality to it.
I could see that.
You do a second fill with the honey, really just kind of mellows it out. So I think it was really smart of Penelope to do that.
to mellow it out afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Have you?
It's a dessert whiskey. This is a
That's
mood.
what I. That's
this
what I
is a-
said.
this
The
is-
way you described it earlier. That's what I said.
This is a mood pour for me. Like I got to be in the mood to drink that. I can't drink that every day.
Yes, that every day is just. So thoughts on new OKI stuff? Have you had it?
I have. I mean, you're just. Well, are you talking about the reserve blends or just the single barrels, or both?
I don't know what I'm talking about. I was gifted a bottle, and my buddy that actually gifted to it, we both had it. Like we thought it was good, but nothing like it wasn't like man. It was just like this is good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the single barrels are basically what's out there right now. You're looking at 5 to 6 year old MGP single barrels. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's doing it. Some people are deciding to spin a story around their single barrels, just sourced from MGP. OKI is just like, yep, this is MGP. It's not anything crazy. Their blends though, their reserve series, I think are actually interesting. Now the first blend I wasn't a big fan of. They took basically every MGP like mash bill that they make and they blended them together in some weird way. And to me, it came off really disjointed. There really wasn't a lot of balance to it. I didn't really know where the bourbon wanted to go. If it wanted to go spicy, if it wanted to go sweet. There was somewhere in the middle. It just kind of got very muddy for me when I tasted it and reviewed it. The second blend that they're coming out with, or I don't know if it's even out yet, that one I think is a more simplified blend. Okay. So I'm actually looking forward to tasting that one.
It's a little more straightforward.
Yeah, a little more straightforward and direct. So I'm curious to try that one. But, OKI isn't very much different nowadays than most of the sourcers that are coming out with, $75 to $80 bottles of sourced MGP. Yeah. That's 4 to 5 years old. If you go to Kentucky now and you go into any store, there are thousands of those bottles everywhere from all different brands. So I don't really think it's anything different.
I was gonna. I haven't said anything to dude. So in October, just for one night, I'm going to Lexington for a concert.
Oh, Lexington. Okay.
Yeah. And I know that's not really around anything, but so I'm going with my wife. Mm-hmm. She's actually going to see a friend the following morning. So
Who are you going to see? What's the
it's
concert?
called Judah and the Lion.
Okay.
Didn't you see them already?
Yeah, we've seen them like 4 times.
In Chicago, you saw them once.
Saw
right?
them in Chicago.
Yeah.
I've seen them in Detroit.
And you're a big fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Columbus twice now.
Where are you seeing them next? I missed this.
Lexington.
Lexington.
And they're with someone else this time. Like
I can't believe they're a headliner.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really heard of them. So
Yeah, well, they only usually tour on their own. Like they.
Oh, so like small venues and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is actually at UK's venue.
Oh, UK's small venue.
Yeah, it's probably 20,000.
I'm just giving you shit, man.
They are a small band, though.
Hey, Trampy wants a taste of the Penelope, if you don't mind.
Yeah, or whatever she wants.
I told her what it was, and she's like, "Ooh,
What did you thought? It tastes like a cinnamon roll.
cinnamon roll." That's what I said.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Trampy can have all she wants.
we're gonna probably leave here
what I tell
in
her
the
every
morning, the one night of the concert,
Uh-huh.
and I'm trying to figure out where my and my wife is game to stop wherever, and then even if I want to, like, she's gonna go and
Are you gonna do some hunting? Is that what I'm hearing?
either hunting or just stopping at distilleries.
Yeah.
And
When are
obviously
you going?
October.
Okay, so I have a few buddies down in Lexington. I'll get you some honey holes.
Okay.
To look at.
Well, and I sometimes I know the Costco's in the area down there can be nice places.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
and they'll
The
have
thing
some
with-
picks sometimes
The
too.
thing with Costco is they'll just bring out like allocated stuff
Yeah.
like randomly.
Yeah.
So if you're just there,
you just might
It's
get
like
lucky.
Just BTAC just sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, there you go. We're gonna roll out the birthday bourbon. Here
Yeah.
you go. Yep.
So, but I'm trying to. I don't really know. Like, I'm sure I'll stop at Buffalo Trace on my way down.
Yeah.
But other than that,
adding
what's
to the fuel.
what's
the fuel? Gonna get a handy.
what's the closest?
Brett's going to be down there to Sheets.
Woodford's
right
probably
next
the
door.
closest to Lexington, right?
Who is?
Woodford.
Four Roses. They're
Yeah,
all
Woodford,
close
Four
by.
Roses, that area. Castle and Key.
Wild
Castle
Turkey.
Key,
Wild
Wild
Turkey's
Turkey.
not too
Wild
far.
Turkey. Yeah.
Okay.
Castle and Key's even closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Castle and Key,
Key has shitty bourbon though, so
their bourbon's shitty, right? I just saw it sitting at Kroger. I was like, no, not going to hit.
it's not
gonna
ready
buy it.
yet. I don't know what it is about them. They need to fix.
It's
some
just
shit.
young, right?
It's just young
because they
and-
got rid of Marianne too early.
I don't know. I don't know where Marianne's going.
Yeah.
She's has
Segued.
forbidden.
She's segued.
Forbidden.
Forbidden. Eau de parfum.
Yeah. Eau de parfum.
I see like Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah.
or like someone like that, like
Yeah.
in an ocean.
Yeah. Or
with,
like,
the
what's
moon.
so one of my favorite
the
cologne-
moonlight hitting.
Yeah,
them.
one of my favorite clones that I wear is Sauvage, which is the Johnny Depp one.
Johnny Depp,
He's just
yeah.
sitting in a desert playing guitar.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, you have an amp and a guitar. What's it plugged into, bro? He's like,
Hey, he's in the desert. It's solar powered.
It's solar powered,
Don't ruin
man.
it for me.
Okay.
Don't ruin it for me.
all right.
It's solar
What volume
powered.
was he playing on, though?
11.
11.
Yeah,
It's just
definitely 11.
It's just one mole.
It's just one more,
One mole. It's 11.
but mine goes to 11.
Yeah, we were talking about Marion Eves' new Forbidden release coming out that has a lot of marketing bullshit wrapped around it.
When are you getting that?
I don't know. I pre-ordered it, so I don't know when it's shipping.
Okay, let me know when it comes. I'll come over and this
should
could be
do
when,
an- we
this
should do
could
an
be when I do
episode
my guest
around
episode
it.
with you.
Yeah.
I could come and be a guest on that episode.
Okay, yeah, we should do that.
All right, let me
Yeah.
know when it's coming.
Okay.
I'll come up and make an
Totally
appearance.
do that.
I'll make an appearance.
I'll totally, definitely do that. That'd be
All
cool.
right.
You definitely need to taste it.
I have a face for radio, so it works. It works.
You have a prettier face than I do, so it'll work out.
I think our face is very similar. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So this old line, you got to taste that. Tell me what you think of it real quick, and then
Call it a night.
yeah, we'd call it a night. I think that's a good end of the night. I haven't opened this yet, as you can tell. You're opening it now. They sent it to me after we had them on the show. Their single malt that they had that was regular strength. I enjoyed. That was a nice pop.
Yeah, it was.
And I've not had their cask strength. Now, this is something that Middle West Spirits actually distills for them, But I think their cask strength they distill for themselves,
Interesting.
if I remember correctly.
What?
So American single malt's one
How,
of those.
how does that make any sense?
Well, they do their own distilling.
The cork's on a jerk. So for those of you listening,
Shut up.
dude
I've had a
lifted his
Tyler,
glass,
Tyler moment.
and he literally tried to pour the bottle into his glass, and there was a cork on it, and he didn't realize it until it was too late.
Just a little one. That's good.
So American single malt is one of those really high
Up and
growing
coming,
categories,
yeah.
up and coming.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
I'm not a huge fan of them for the most part, but there are some that I've had that have been.
So this is the problem with American single malt that I'm finding. First of all, one thing, I love the category. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of not only potential in it,
I
but
was gonna
also
say potential.
room.
I didn't want to finish your sentence,
But also room for creativity
Yes,
in it as
I
well.
agree with that
A lot of
completely.
people could do a lot of stuff with it.
because there's a lot of leeway as to what can be an American.
Exactly.
single malt.
Now we're on the verge of having a legal distinction for it.
Sure.
It's been in the works, but even if you read the legal distinction,
there's still more leeway than like bourbon, for example.
yes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you read the proposal, there's a lot of leeway in there, and that if that gets passed, I think a lot of the American single malt producers will have some creativity to make some really cool stuff. So the problem is, though, you have brands like Westland, McCarthy's, Virginia Distilling Company, Stranahan's, guys that have been doing American single malt now for the last few years. Maybe some folks haven't gotten into it yet, but American single malt, I mentioned Cedar Ridge earlier, the quintessential. They're making incredible American single malt.
Yeah.
So, but I just tried the Jim Beam one, the Claremont Steep.
I haven't watched the video, but I saw you did a video on that, right?
It's so terrible.
Is it really?
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I
For those of you at home, I can't do justice to the
What do you-
faces he's making.
Hey, no, but on a serious note, like, what do you think some of these distillers, what goes through their head when they taste it and they're just like, we got to put that in a bottle?
I don't know. So with Jim Beam, the story is that they tried They tried all these different malts. So if you look at other American single malt producers across the board, they're using these really these different varietals of malt, chocolate malt, caramel malt.
Right.
Really trying to get the most flavor, the bang for the buck that they can. Then you read what Jim Beam used. They're like, we tried 64 different types of malt, and we landed on a regular American malt and American Pilsner malt.
So, do you think they're trying
beer.
to capitalize on American
I think Beam is positioning for more of an American, straightforward, beery type of flavor profile.
That's kind of how I took it too.
And it tastes that way. It tastes very young.
I haven't had it.
It tastes malty yet not developed. And my fear is that these big brands will come into the fold. Like, say, Heaven Hill comes out with one. Say, Heaven Hill has a malt whiskey. Woodford Reserve has a malt whiskey. All these folks, I guarantee, are working on an American single malt.
Did you say Woodford?
Woodford.
Yeah, they have a.
Brown Foreman. I guarantee all these distillers are working on American single malt. However, they're going to come into the fold and they're going to come out with something that's less aged, less developed, and I feel like they're going to cast a shadow over it as something that's less developed and less delicious and kind of give it a bad name. And that's my fear because, like I said, Westland, Stranahan's, ASW out of Georgia, they've been making amazing American single malts for the last several years without any real spotlight. And I just hope this shit doesn't kill it because these guys, I feel like, are just putting it out
But
to
you know
get to get in the category.
But here's the thing. I feel like those brands that you've mentioned already, people don't take seriously for the most part. There are other things. They're offshoots like Booker's and things like that. They take seriously, but like their main flagships and things like that, they do a honey bourbon. They do whatever. I think people don't take those so seriously. I don't think it'll kill the category. What's going to kill the category is the diaper trash water stuff that we had that one time. That was terrible. That was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Real quick, This is Old Line Spirits. We had them on a few episodes ago.
So this is out of Baltimore.
Out of Baltimore. Now,
dark
some of their
color.
stuff they contract
It's
from.
dark.
Some of the stuff well, it's cast strength, but some of the stuff they contract out of Middle West Spirits. Some of it they do themselves. I believe their cask strength here they do themselves. I could be wrong.
Now this is more in line with what I've tasted from really good American single malt,
What do you get on the
especially
nose?
American. I get chocolate and coffee.
I got exactly the same
Yeah.
thing: coffee and chocolate. What
That's
do you?
a great nose for.
Yeah, it is. This is actually. I'm not a huge fan of single malt whiskeys.
And on the palate for me, it goes way more towards chocolate than coffee. I think the chocolate really is prevalent. There's a slight burnt toast note with
yeah.
the chocolate as well.
There's
there like a
chocolate with a coffee
hazelnut
finish
finish?
almost.
Yeah, but
Maybe it's hazelnut.
it gives me
There's
like
like a
that. It gives me like
dry-
that burnt toast note on it, which I
you're
like.
having a stroke. You're having a stroke.
Is that what it is? Burnt
That's
toast.
what it
There's
is.
like a burnt toast.
Do you ever
with,
watch
like,
do you ever
a
watch
roasted,
Archer?
A roasted nut
I've seen
finish.
episodes, but I'm not as diligent.
There's
as
a
you
whole
are.
season of Archer
Yeah.
where like they'll be in the middle of saying something. They're like, "Am I having a stroke?" And then this robot toast maker comes in the scene, and it's like making toast pops out.
Yeah, making toast pops
and
out.
it's pretty funny. It's a scene. It's like 5 or 6 episodes or seasons in.
And
It's
why,
pretty
like,
funny.
how I know this is good malt, like, burnt toast is
This
a
is
note.
good.
Burnt toast is a note that I get on, like, some of the Scottish single malts.
Okay.
So I feel like if you're getting that note, you're on a good path.
Yeah.
You know, to competing with what's out there.
I've had some really, really bad American single malt
Yeah, dude.
This
I
is-
should have brought that Claremont Steve because it's fucking terrible.
because of how bad it is.
so bad.
Just to get rid of it.
Just to be like, guys,
Here
try
you go,
this.
drink this.
It's actually not even my bottle. I borrowed it because I didn't want to buy it yet, and I
Yeah.
tried. I'm like, ugh. It's like it
Did
almost
someone-
tastes sour.
Let me ask you this: did someone give it to you because they were proud of it?
So do you know the Jim Beam barrel and box subscription that you can do? That's only available in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So my buddy.
That's the like a club or something.
Yeah,
they do,
so
right?
my buddy Todd down in Kentucky is a part of it. He lives in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So he's a part of this club, and he got it. He's like, dude, you need to review this. He's like, I haven't tasted it yet. Let me know what you think. And I'm like, oh, God, this is not ready yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, it could go down the path, but it needs more age. It needs more time.
chocolate and coffee. That's spot on.
It's spot on.
It's
It's
still
chocolate and
lingering.
coffee.
It's still lingering
This is
in my
a
mouth.
really nice, so old line.
This is probably one of
This
the
is
only
really
things I
good.
could have had after the Penelope that actually was able to stand out still.
For sure. I think this would have stand out because it's so different. There's a very faint fruity note to it on the back end that I'm getting that is intermingling with the I think it's like a dark cherry.
It is. It's definitely a dark cherry.
That's intermingling with the chocolate. That's really good, dude. Old line.
This is good, right?
I'm doing a meetup for the channel for all the patrons in at the end of August in at Sagamore, and
Hey.
Old Line's going to be there.
Are there any spots open for that?
Oh, for sure.
Can you save me one? I'm not
Yeah.
committing yet,
Yep.
but my relatives, my father just passed recently, right? So
Yeah. Yep.
I have relatives that live right near there. And I'm trying to do a thing where I go out there and I have meet up with them because we hadn't seen each other in years since it's been years, and it just sucks. I'm at that age now where I don't see a lot of my family unless something like this happens.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, which is unfortunate, but I get it.
It is.
I get it.
And sorry, but that brought me to where they live. I love those guys. They're great. One of my cousins, he lives out in that area, like in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area.
Yep.
And he is a former Marine. He was in the first Gulf War, and he, who is it? Who does the, who does the financial newspaper? Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal. Yeah.
I think it was Wall Street Journal. Did a story on him,
Really?
on my cousin.
Okay.
He was a day trader, and the title of the story is I think it's called "The Fall of the Day Trader" or something like that, and he is the main subject of the story, and he was a day trader. He's actually he works in schools. I think he was a principal at the time, But he day traded throughout the day, and he was up millions at one point, and then he lost all of it, and then because of the way the tax setup is, he ended up owing like hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes, even though he ended up with nothing.
Wow.
And so he had to like basically sell all of his stuff and like start over and all that stuff. But I think it's called the Rise and the Fall of the Day Trader or something like that. But it was by, I'm pretty sure the Wall Street Journal wrote the article, and he was the main subject in it. But anyway, like, he is just cool guy. But he went to the first Gulf War. He was a Marine. He was one of the guys that went out. They were in the front, basically sweeping for mines, all those things, landmines, all that stuff. He was exposed for sure to chemical stuff.
But I'll tell you guys, if you know, because I did want to make a formal, and too bad Brett's not here, but I did want to make a formal invitation for you guys to get over to Maryland the last weekend of August. It's a Friday and a Saturday. It's going to be an amazing event. We're going to have, food, live music.
I saw that. Yeah. It looks really
really
fun.
If you pay the full price ticket, you're going to get a bottle of a barrel pick that we did. And it's a barrel that Sagamore has never released. And we're releasing it for this event just for us. So we're really
Maryland,
excited.
you said?
It's in Maryland.
Nice.
Yep.
We're at Maryland.
Is it close
It's
to
Baltimore,
right?
It's
Okay.
Baltimore,
Yeah.
but it's on the outskirts. It's right on the water there.
Nice.
Sagamore is a beautiful property, right on the water, right on the pier. We'll do Friday night there, and then Saturday we're gonna have shuttles that are gonna take everyone out to the Sagamore farm where the grain is grown for their distillate.
That's cool.
And then there's going to be games out there, a 3-piece band, a live cigar roller doing fresh cigars. Dude, it's going to be insane. So I really love it for you guys to come if you can make it work.
I'm gonna bring Trina. We're gonna come together, even though
Yeah.
we'll come together and then we'll go to the event together.
Yeah.
No,
You'll come
Yeah.
and then you'll go to that
Yeah.
event
You
together.
come and then you go to the event.
if we're speaking honestly, she'll come first.
Yeah.
But then we'll go to the event together, and I think she'll enjoy it. I'm trying to get her into the bourbon kick. I think she's realized that mixed drinks with vodka just aren't the way to go for her. And she's enjoyed. Like we went to Oscars up near Dublin. The Bridge Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had a couple of drinks up there. She got a vodka drink. I ended up having to drink it. It was a vodka mule of some sort that was smoked.
It's good.
I ended up drinking it because she didn't enjoy it. It was too smoky, too sweet. And she drank mine, which was a bourbon drink. And I'm telling you, I think that she's on the verge of slowly getting
Am I
over
the
it.
only one that whenever I have like a smoked drink at a restaurant that I'm like,
It depends
That
on how it's
sucked.
smoked. No. You are the only one in. So here's the thing. I think some people use a smoked, like a liquid smoke, to give it that fake smoke infusion. That sucks. When they truly smoke a bourbon, like a bourbon drink or an old fashioned, I've had some really good. So Hyde Park. Have you ever had the Hyde Park old fashioned that's smoked?
no.
Holy shit. They bring it out to you on a cedar plank. I think it's a cedar plank. And it's covered and it's smoked, and then they undo it for you.
My
right
favorite
there.
old fashioned I've had in Columbus has to be the one from High Bank.
High Banks is a good old fashioned.
I love that one.
Their old fashioned is
Because
really good.
they do they use the lava rock
Yep.
and they torch everything
Yep.
in there and then they put the glass on
Yep.
top. I love that one.
Have you been to Hyde Park and had their old fashioned?
I've been to Hyde Park, but I haven't had their old fashioned.
Theirs is really good.
Okay.
The smoked old fashioned. They have two old fashions, I
Apparently,
believe, on the
if you go
menu.
to Hyde Park, you have to go to the Dublin location.
No, not the Dublin location.
Which one?
That's
No, you are completely wrong. It's the one
the
on
UA.
Old Henderson.
So
So that's the one my mother goes to.
That's the original.
That's the one my mom goes to.
And it's
like
amazingly better than all the others.
Every like 3
there's
or 4.
one. There's one in Dublin.
So
that's
it's
not
the
the
UA.
one.
Is it UA?
It's probably UA, but it's Old Henderson. It's the one on Old Henderson Road.
Okay.
So I think there's 3 in town. There's one on the Cap.
Yeah.
Downtown on like over 670.
Yep.
There's one in Dublin. That's not the one. It's like France Road. That's not the one.
Yep.
And then there's one in like UA / it's still Columbus, but it's like off of it's Old Henderson. The Old Henderson one has just been around forever, and I think whatever they use to cook their steaks, I think has just been seasoned over time, kind of like a skillet. You know,
my
like
mom does happy hour there like every 3 weeks. She goes there for happy hour.
The Old
She-
Henderson?
How's your mom like
She absolutely loves it.
Hey, let me know next time she's going to go. I'll try to join her and just introduce myself and let her know that I'm your buddy.
Sure.
Because I want to meet your mom.
She loves
your
it
mom's
there.
a character.
She loves it there.
How is she liking
From what I
Columbus?
know, your mom's a character.
She's getting used to it, I think.
Yeah.
I think she's enjoying it. She's
The
finding
fact that she sold her 2-bedroom apartment and she got a palatial mansion here in Columbus, she's probably loving that.
Yeah.
well, she had a home. We had our house in Long Island that we lived in. At the time she bought for a pretty damn good price. She made a killing on it, and then she built a home here in Powell.
A palatial mansion.
Yeah, she loves it. It's actually 1 floor. We didn't want her. I'm like, Mom, don't get a crazy big house. You're one person. You're getting older. It's no basement.
Does she still get her Henry McKenna tenure? Does she still get that?
She still gets it. She's going back to New York in a couple weeks, and she's going to go to that liquor store, and she's already got her McKennas lined up.
She's going to demand it.
That story cracks me up. Like that story is just odd. That's what to me. That's what bourbon's about.
Well,
Yeah.
what?
Honestly,
I always think about that story too, and whenever I crack a Henry McKenna, I'm always like,
I think of her
I
every
think
time
of
I
it
crack
too.
one. I do.
well, and whenever I see it, outside of Ohio, I'm like, do I want to spend the money to get there?
Yes,
Because it's
you
never
do.
really it's not really overpriced.
The secondary on it's never crazy.
No, there's never no.
I actually never see them on secondary.
Yeah.
I just know like people
They're just
that
hard to find.
have them when they find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
My mom loves them, and for whatever reason, my mom is like the magic touch.
Yeah.
Whatever single barrel she buys is always really
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always find it up in Michigan, and it's like $70-$75. I'm like, do I want to? But the last time, I literally went through the bottle in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
It's tough for me. Anytime I'm sitting there and I'm looking in my room, I'm like, I'll just have some Henry McKenna.
Yeah.
So story.
For sure.
I'm the storyteller, right?
Storyteller. Here he goes.
Okay,
Here he goes, folks.
So my dad died. We talked about that recently, right? So I went home immediately when I found out my dad was in distress, and I was on my way down to Belpre on the way, knowing that he probably wasn't going to make it. I'm halfway down there, find out he didn't make it, and I get down there and I'm spending 2 or 3 days with my mom trying to make the arrangements for the funeral and stuff like that. One of my parents, as a couple, one of their couple friends, the Wearies, they the husband in that family likes bourbon.
yeah.
And my mom texted me, this has been like months ago now. Hey, Henry McKenna, is that a good bourbon? I'm like, yeah, that's great bourbon.
It's a solid bourbon.
Buy it up. If you see it in Belpre, buy it.
Yeah.
And so I get home, I go to my parents' house, I'm cleaning up, and it's the end of the night, and we're both. My mom loves Irish whiskey. She loves Jameson.
Nice.
So she has Jameson. She's sitting there drinking some Jameson. I'm up in their cupboard. They've got these wines, and they've got a couple of things. She's got Screwball. She loves Screwball whiskey. And so I see a Henry McKenna, but it's actually Henry McKenna bourbon. It's not
the single barrel.
It's not the single
It's the
barrel.
brown label.
Well, it's not even the brown. It's newer than that. It's their newer label. It's shit.
Okay.
It's absolute shit.
Yeah.
So I pull it down. I'm like, I've seen this. I've never had it. I'm gonna have it.
Yeah.
Not good. I mean, it's okay, but it's not good. And she goes, yeah, this is the bottle that you told my friend Mike to buy because Henry McKenna is really good. And I'm like, this is not what I thought you meant.
Yeah, this is not the one.
I thought, and so I showed her a picture of the Henry McKenna 10-year, bottled and bond, and I was like, this is what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, my mom was going to New York with a mission. She's looking at Henry McKenna. She wants to bring 2 bottles back. She wants to try to see what stag they have. A couple Eagle Rares. So she's coming back with some stuff.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Right.
We'll see what she comes back with.
I'm gonna befriend her.
You should. You should.
Let me know next time she
I'll
goes
tell
to Hyde
her
Park.
when she tells me that she's going to Hyde Park. I'll let you know exactly.
Let me know.
Friday night.
I'm serious.
I'm serious.
I will go there. We'll go there on an.
She's made. So this is my mom. This was crazy. I actually yelled at her for this. This is what she did. She met some couple.
Yeah.
At Hyde Park randomly.
Were
First time she
were they
met
wearing
them.
upside down pineapples?
I don't know. However,
this is your mom.
This couple asked. She's like, "Hey, you're really great. Why don't you come with us? We're going to a cigar lounge in some shady part of Columbus. Why don't you come with us and meet up with us there?" And my mom, she's like, "Yeah, sure." She went. I'm like, "You met this couple for the first time, and they said that they were like, had money and they had, they were well off or whatever. The guy was like some professor. The wife was some beauty product influencer or something like that.
Swingers.
That was my first thought. But I also watch a lot of Dateline.
Oh shit!
And I was like, "Mom, you're gonna be human trafficked. Like, what's happening?" So
hold on. How old is your mom?
She's in her 60s.
She's probably. I mean, I don't know how good looking your mom is. No offense.
Yeah.
She's probably not going to be human.
She's probably not going to be there. But still,
I think they're looking for a different demographic.
But when you watch Dateline, this is what you think.
Right. Fair enough.
So this random couple meets you for the first time and is like, "Why don't you come with us to this random cigar lounge in not a great part of Columbus?" I'm like, "You went where? With who?" She's like, "Yeah, this nice couple who just went to."
I love when he does that voice.
I met them and it was so nice, and I just wanted to go and have a cigar. So I had a cigar. And it was delicious. And the place wasn't really my people, but I had a good time. And I was like, "Oh my God, Mom, you are so lucky you are alive." I'm like, "What are you doing?"
So lucky you're alive.
I'm like,
she probably thinks she left New York and like is in Columbus, and it's just like corn everywhere.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's
nothing
like
can go wrong.
Everybody
It's just cornfields, and nothing can go wrong.
The first 10 people she met here were like the sweetest people she's ever met. And I'm like, so that's everyone now.
Yes,
it's like, oh my God, Mom.
It is.
It is. Oh my God,
that's funny. All right, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Jason, for coming. I know it's been a hard time actually scheduling us to get together. Almost as hard as Tyler being on the episodes. Almost. But thank you for. I got to get some of that Penelope for Trina, by the way. Don't forget to leave some of that.
Absolutely.
But thank you for coming on, man. The amount of knowledge, the amount of information you bring, plus just the bourbon you bring, which we don't expect. You could show up here empty-handed, and I would be just as happy as.
But now, if I did show up empty-handed,
I would not give a shit.
No, you'd be like, "What's happening with Jason?"
I'd be like, "Is there an after-school special that I'm about to watch with Jason?" Or something?
Are you going through a rough time? What's happening? You didn't bring anything.
I, honest to God, I would not care. I'd probably ask you, "Is everything okay?"
No, but honestly, yeah. I mean, obviously, the scheduling has been tough, but yeah.
Are you running low?
The scheduling has been tough, but obviously, with everything you've been going through, it's like, man, I have to get over there and we have to hang out. We have to have some pours. We got to go through everything.
What's your big work event again?
Fuck everything he's saying right now.
That's in July.
Okay. But I know that's like your ramp up.
That's my ramp up. It's coming soon, and once that kind of is done, then I could kind of relax a little bit. But really, I was worried about dude and everything he was going through. I'm like, I got to get over there and bring some pours, and so we could just share some whiskey and
because it's not about the whiskey.
It's the people you share it with, and also good people that you know and hang out with. And I could not get here fast enough, honestly, to just hang out with you, man.
By the way,
trust me, it's been fine.
Your glasses slowly
right?
overtaking
Yes.
our Bourbon Hunters Kenzie drink.
It's the best glass.
I've been drinking neat out of that glass
yes.
nonstop.
I will always go to that glass.
I told
do
you
too.
guys, it's the only cocktail glass that you can get actually a decent nose out of because of the curve.
yeah, I'll drink my stuff
Yeah.
neat out of it nonstop.
Yes.
My one complaint is the circular ice balls fit in fine, but the big square cubes that I have don't fit in that.
Yeah,
you know, the
I
best
totally get that,
solution
yeah.
for that, if you actually just don't drink it with ice.
No, I'm
works.
talking like if I make a cocktail or something, like an old fashioned or something like that.
Yeah.
When I drink whiskey out of it, I drink it neat.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it noses well and all. Like
Yeah,
what
which
you
is really
just-
crazy for a cocktail glass.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is.
The stencils held up really, really well.
Yep.
I throw it through the dishwasher.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Some of the glasses I have actually lost some of their. This is not one of them. When they're not laser etched,
Yep.
it comes right off.
I have another batch of those going out to the Intense Drummer soon. So
Nice.
there's a
The
whole other
only
batch
thing
of that
I'm
coming
missing
out.
from you is the dark Kenzie Dram, or not Kenzie Dram, Glencairn.
Oh, just the black line.
the black Glencairn.
Yeah, you should definitely get one of those. We're
Well,
gonna have
those are-
actually, if you come to the Sagamore event, you're gonna get a custom Kenzie with our
Yours will be
with
white,
our
though.
with our Summer Jam event logo on it, which will be cool.
I'm being serious. Save me a spot. I haven't figured it out yet.
We haven't released it to the masses yet.
No,
it's
no.
only within Patreon.
I'm
so,
just saying, save me a spot
Yeah.
because we're gonna try to. I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
somehow figure out a way to be there an extra day and
It's not
visit my
Labor Day
family.
weekend, is it?
No.
It's
It's the last weekend
it's
in August. Yeah.
Sometimes that overlaps.
No, it doesn't.
Not
Sometimes
really
it's
ever.
like-
Never.
Labor Day
Sometimes
is
it's like
Labor Day is always
Labor
in
Day is
September.
never in August.
It's always in September.
Labor Day is never in
It's
August.
always in
Sometimes
September.
it is.
Labor
I
Day
know it
is
is,
in
but it's like
September.
sometimes it's like
Never in August.
sometimes it's like the 31st. Like
Oh my
the Friday
God,
is the
I can't hear this, dude.
31st.
Often wrong.
This is why I love
Never
Tyre.
in doubt.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Often wrong.
Hold on.
Sometimes
Never in
never.
doubt.
Sometimes
Hold
never.
on,
It's in
hold on,
August.
hold on.
You know when Thanksgiving's in October
Yeah.
sometimes?
Sometimes never.
You know
It's
when-
in October.
Right, when our Thanksgiving's in October, and you know how sometimes they have Thanksgiving in
So
October,
26
and it
27.
Yes.
and it conflicts with Halloween.
I can't with this guy.
You know when Thanksgiving and Halloween are the same
when
weekend sometimes.
Sometimes never Thanksgiving falls on Halloween.
Listen, when Christmas and Easter are the same weekend,
Sometimes it does.
it just kind of sucks for me because I can never spread myself out. Christmas
can't
and Easter, and you know, and when New Year's is the same time as
even
4th of
handle
July, when New Year's and 4th of July overlap.
Friday is September 1st, so like that's
All right.
pretty much the last weekend. Of
All right, dude.
August.
Next time I see you, you're going to come over for the Forbidden review. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Let me know when it's coming. I'm serious.
As soon as it delivers, I'll tell you.
I will be over. I will make
Okay.
it. It has to be on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday,
That's fine.
or
Who's forbidden?
or a Thursday.
I normally film
or a
my-
Thursday.
I normally film most of my content on Monday night.
It can be any day
So-
but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right.
Thanks, guys, for joining in. Next week, who knows what the hell we're going to talk about? There was no theme this week, so
Dude, we got to do. You still have two themes in the hopper that we need to do.
What?
One is the complete Old Forester 117 series, all blind.
yes.
Second, you need to
An
order a
Old
barrel so you
Forester.
can put the Old Forester in
I've
the barrel.
got the small barrel over there. It's not a full. It's not a big. It's a small barrel.
Has there been anything in there yet?
Nothing ever.
So that's what you need to do. You need to fill that shit with a couple bottles of Old
This was
Forester.
his
100.
Christmas present, I think, like 5 years ago. He never did anything with it. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to give it to you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he never
fill that thing with Old Forester 100.
All right, the
and
signature.
over the course of a few weeks, see
Yeah.
what it does.
like pull out some and
pull
put
out
it into,
some
into
as it
vials.
goes. Yeah, do 4 week,
4-ounce
do
vials.
1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and 4 week,
All right.
and then
I'm
we'll do
going to start that this week.
and then we'll do a 4 dram blind.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
I like all.
I like it. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining in for yet another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. If you like what you hear, please leave us a good rating on Apple, Podbean, Google, or wherever you are listening. It definitely helps us to get great guests on our show. And follow us on Instagram and the Facebooks to keep up to date with what is in our glass. As always, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.